everyone, I am Rex Red and I am back with another EZ3DTV tutorial today. We are going to talk about what does it take to make the world's best today, right today, to make the world's best Daz 3D rendering computer that you can build, okay? What does it take? Well, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, it's what this is about. We're going to talk about how to build the world's fastest computer for Daz Studio. And that is the topic of this tutorial right after this little splash screen. Okay, and I will be right back. Okay, so what we are going to talk about today is the very fastest computer that you can build today. So if you're looking, so that is going to entail a motherboard, a power supply, RAM, a graphics card. Not one graphics card, but three, okay? 3 graphics cards. If it's going to be the world's fastest, okay? We're talking about 3 graphics cards. It's going to require a CPU chip, okay? And it's going to require solid-state drives and a few other little things here along the way, some small kind of minor things, okay? So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go here and we're going to go to our computer planning place, and this is Amazon, okay? Now, unfortunately, I can't put the 3090s into my cart yet because they're so new right now. I'm like, this thing is making little noises and it's bothering me. Okay, is because they have just been announced at CES, I believe. And so they're really not on the market yet, but they will be on the market very soon. And they are supposed to be, let's open Notepad. Okay, so this would be, they're supposed to be $2,000, so we go the RTX 3090, okay, and so they are $2,000 each. So for 3 of them, I'm holding up 3 fingers, it doesn't look like it, but 3 fingers, for 3 of them, that would be probably about $6,500, okay? Including tax, and we're talking actually buying it and not just like putting down like the retail price. Okay, so $6,000. Okay, we go like that, 6,500, and I don't think it doesn't go like that. It goes like this. Okay. All right, so RTX 3090, $6,500. All right, so that's for 3 5090. That's not 3090. This is a 5090. Okay, they're just coming out. So that's at least $6,000. I would plan for getting 3 5090s. I would plan on about 10,000. Okay, so and we'll just put 10,000 here in parentheses. All right. You didn't just upgrade your computer. Why are you doing it again? I upgraded my computer. Yes, George, you're very right. I did upgrade my computer, but my current computer with the 4090 is going to become my streaming computer, okay? So it's going to handle my stream and all of the things that have to be done in real time. And so I right now, it's currently my rendering computer, and it's a very, very, very fast computer, okay? But the current computer that I have right now cost me about maybe $2,000. No, it's like more than that. The 4090 cost me almost $2,000. It cost me about $3,000, okay? The computer we are talking about today is a $30,000 computer, okay? That's why, because we're talking about the world's, what you can spend, and this is what I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy a $30,000 computer. It may not be for a few months, okay? But I will be buying a $30,000, and when I render on this channel, okay, that's what this channel is about, is letting people enjoy the experience of somebody working with, you know, the fastest technology. If you can't afford, or people can't afford to go out and drop $30,000 on this computer, well, at least you can watch somebody else use one, okay? And that's the thing, and that's what I'm opening up this channel to share this experience, okay, with people. All right, so this dream computer is going to have 3 of the latest graphics cards in it, okay? So it's going to need to have a processor that can run, that won't bottleneck. And yes, it will, the processor will probably bottleneck with 3 5090 graphics cards in it, okay? But the thing is that it's going to bottleneck. You're either going to have the, hey, Brent, welcome, 5090 graphics cards. Now, these 5090 graphics cards have just been revealed at the CES, so they're really not on the market yet, but they will be, okay? And in order to run a 5090 graphics card requires about, I think, 675 watts each. So that means that 1,600 watt, which is kind of like where most people stop buying power supplies, is not enough. So in order to run 3 5090 graphics cards, okay, you would have to buy one of these, okay? And there are a few other companies, only about 3, I think, that I know of, that make these, and a lot of them are out of stock right now. So when only 3 companies make them and they're out of stock, this one's not, okay? This is a $500 power supply, okay? So we're going to add the power supply to our list. Okay, we'll go here, and I'm going to close this down. All right, now, so this, the power supply is how much? 500. So we're going to say 459. Okay, we're going to go 500. We'll just kind of round it up a little bit. $500. Okay. And okay, so you buy this, and unfortunately, okay, we're going to say this is our new computer. All right, and this is new computer. All right. So, unfortunately, when you run a 2,000 watt power supply, a lot of people may not have the correct breakers in their house to run it. So if you're rendering, you're going away around and you're rendering, and those graphics cards are pulling all of the electricity that they can, and the chip, the main chip, is pulling electricity from the graphics card, from the power supply, it could theoretically hit 2,000 watts or volts or something like that. 2,000 watts, excuse me. And it could trip your house breaker. Okay, that's how powerful this computer is. Okay, so this world's fastest computer, and the parts are out there. You can buy them today, except for the graphics cards that you're going to have to wait until a month or so until they proliferate the market. Okay, they've been announced. They're already made, and they're going to be selling them within a very short amount of time. Okay, so but everything else for this build is available to buy, okay? And we're going to talk about it. So the power supply, this is the 2,000 watt power supply, okay, is $500, okay? So we save that. So our 3 RTX 90s, like I said, plan on 10,000, okay? So, if you get them at a good price, you might be able to get them for under 6,500. They retail for 2,000. The scalpers are going to be out there. They're going to be they're going to be selling them for $2,000 and $3,000. For $3,000 and $4,000, they're going to buy them all up and try to sell them for $4,000, like they did the last time. Double the price. We'll see what happens. I have a feeling the market will be flooded with them, and so nobody's going to buy these because there's no chip shortage now, okay? So nobody's going to buy these 4,000, and these scalpers hopefully will learn their lesson to stop scalping people, okay? I think it's rotten. So, okay, so there we are with a power supply, okay? There, you wait till you see what this computer's going to entail, all right? So it says we only have one concurrent viewer, but I think there might be more than one person here. I'm not sure who's here, but okay. So this is my wish list, okay? So now Windows is going to have to sit on something that is pretty powerful. Okay, this is an air cooler. An air cooler, 4 terabyte PC. Okay, this is a 4 terabyte PCI Express 5.0 M.2. Okay, so what this is a hard drive. Okay, but it's a solid state hard drive with 4 terabytes. Okay, and this is similar right here. Okay, this one has an actual fan on it to keep it cool, so it's zzz. It's a little fan that goes to it and keeps it cool, all right? But this allows you to transfer so that when you load Michael or Michael 9 or whatever, it just like, boom, there he is, okay? So that when you load like the Viking, the Daz Viking camp, okay? It just, boom, it's like, it just almost instantly, which won't be, but we're going to get to test this out at some point. I'm going to buy this computer, all right? But it's going to take me probably a few months to come up with the money. I got to pay off my car first, all right? So, so at this point, so what we're looking at here is, so probably it might be good to have two of these, okay? And this one is 4 terabyte. Now my current Daz library is 4 terabytes. It's three terabytes, and and it's almost up to 4 terabytes. Okay, so it would be really nice to have an 8 terabyte PCI Express, 5.0, because this is 14,000 megabytes per second or megabits per second. It's something, I'm not sure, I think it's megabits or megabytes, but it's like faster than anything. It's like when you go to load Michael, like I said, it's just going to be almost instantaneous, and he's going to be in the scene. So this device says how quickly things load and save, okay? All right? And so because it's PCI Express 5.0, it's very, very, very fast, okay? So now, if you wanted to get an 8 terabyte PCI Express 5.0 M.2, you would say, well, that'd be $1,000, it would be probably $1,500, okay, if they made one. But they haven't, I can't find any 8 terabyte ones yet. They haven't come out yet. So 4 terabyte is pretty much what you're going to have to deal with, okay? So which means you'll have to probably uninstall all your if you have more than 4 terabytes worth of Daz models and 3D models, you might have to uninstall your poser models, or maybe move your HDRIs to another drive, okay? That kind of thing. Or just your hair, move your figure's hair and uninstall them. Welcome, Serenity's Gate. We are talking about the world's fastest Daz rendering computer, and that is what is today's topic. So we've gone over the power supply. We're going to be putting 3 5090s into this. You'll see, wait, the fun part, we haven't even gotten to the fun part of this computer yet. Hang in here, because you guys are going to be pretty dazzled by what this computer has in it, okay? So right now, so these are a couple of versions of these PCI Express. They're 14,000 megabytes per second or something like that. And so, yes, these are extremely fast, which is going to load your things really quick into the scene. So we go here, and so let's go with M.2 5.0 M.2 solid state drive. Okay, solid state drive. Okay, this is 5. It's supposed to be a 5. 5.0 M.2, and we're going to say $700 with tax, okay? All right, so you might want 2 of them. You might want one of them for Windows, okay? So we go X2, and this would be 1,400 dollars, okay? Okay, so you'd want one for your Windows and for like a bunch of maybe Photoshop and a bunch of other programs. So you'd probably want 2 of these, okay? So we're going all out, okay? This is the most powerful Daz rendering computer in the world, okay? There's no way you can build a faster one than this, what we're putting together right now. Okay, so now we're going to be talking RAM, okay? Now I have I'm going on the lower end, okay? I'm not going all out on the RAM, okay? Because $2,000, you can spend up to like $7,000 or $10,000 on RAM, okay? You can get a terabyte of RAM, okay? But I'm figuring, okay, that 512. I've been told by the Copilot and AI and all that 512 is enough, is plenty of RAM for 35090s, and really you need double the RAM, okay? And the 5090 has 32 gigs of RAM, so you only really need 60 gigabytes of RAM, okay, 64 probably, to comfortably run 35090s, I believe, but now we're talking about 3 of them being in the system. But at this point, you need double the RAM. So at this point, I'm going with the 512, all right? So you can go with and spend $10,000. Now, if we go to this RAM's webpage, to the RAM page, okay, you can see there's 1 terabyte here. Okay, so we're going to take and just go with the 512. So I'm going to say the NeMix 512, okay, RAM. All right, we'll add this, and that right here this is for rendering, okay? So now this is $2,000, okay? So let's go with, so let's just say 3,000 with tax. And all right, that's $3,000 right there, okay? So we've got 10,000 for our RTX for 35090s. We got 500 for our power supply, 1,400 for 2 M.2 solid state drives, 2 4 terabyte. And let's go 2x 4 terabyte, 4 TB, okay? And we'll save this. All right, now this is the NeMix RAM, okay? And this is only 512 gigs for $3,000, and it's very fast. It's this 48 megahertz, okay? DDR5 RAM. Okay, so we go back in here, we'll put this in. DDR5, let's 48 megahertz. We'll take this out here, X, and we'll put this in here, V, okay. One more maybe, no, okay. So save this. Now this gets even better, okay. So we're now going here, and we're going to take a look. Now we already did power supply. All right, this is the case. One of them, this is a Corsair case. It's $204. Now the thing is it's got to have enough room, okay, for your graphics card, because like say if the motherboard would probably come in like about here, this high, about that high, and come down in. And hopefully it doesn't go down too far, because like, okay, this is 7 of these. So yeah, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is not big enough, all right? So we would have to have a case that is another probably 3 inches or 4 inches taller, okay? This case will not work, okay? Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? This would just fit our motherboard in here, okay? And so let's go back here. Let's take a look at this other one. This one is $442. And now let's take a look at the side view here. All right, we have to come here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, this is large enough to accommodate this, okay? Because each 3090, each 5090 graphics card takes 3 slots. Okay, so there's one card that would take 3 slots. Then this would be another one which would take 3 slots. And this would be another one which would take 3 slots. Okay? So this case, okay, so this is our fractal design 7XL. This tower is misleading. It would sit up as high probably as your to come up to your kitchen table. This is how big this is. This is a full tower, much big. This is a huge tower, okay? So we're going to go here, and this is the tower we're going to buy for the world's. All of this stuff is available to buy, okay? Except the 3090s, which we got a couple of months before they proliferate and so this is going to be $442, which would be $500. Let's go just $500. $500 with tax. All right, okay, 500. There's our case, okay? Save that. We will be doing some kind of, we'll go into Daz and play around with some rendering and stuff later, okay? But this is building the sweetest Daz rig available on the planet, okay? This is what we are building today, all right? If I am wrong about anything here, please let me know. Wi-Fi, yeah, actually, for Wi-Fi, okay, Wi-Fi, now I don't know about NetSwitch, but Wi-Fi is built in. Yeah, right, you're right about that gold miner. Wi-Fi is built into this motherboard. We're going to get to the motherboard and then you'll see what's built in. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are built in, but also you can use actually you can just use, you can use a Wi-Fi dongle. And the amount, when you see this motherboard, the motherboard is $10,000, okay? So so you're going to have, okay, so wait, you're getting ahead of me, but you're very right. I'm very excited to show you what's left here, okay? So now this, okay, we're going to need a cooler, okay? Because if you look down here, you're going to see we're going to be putting a Threadripper in this, because I believe the AMD Threadripper, the 96 core, which with 192 threads, okay, is the fastest chip in the world right now, okay? Other than buying some kind of, $1 million supercomputer that I don't even know if 4090s would fit into them. So 5090s would. So this, so what we're going to do, the Noctua cooler, this is $99, and this will cool. Now, yes, I could go with water cooling and all, but I don't like water cooling, and I don't like water in a computer that's going to be $30,000 to $40,000. Okay, I don't want water anywhere near that. Okay, so I'm going to be using this AMD Threadripper at stock. Okay, stock temperatures. Okay, so I don't burn the heck out of it. Okay, I don't need, when I have 192 thread processors. Now, I might experiment with overclocking the processor, because the processor, even with 192 threads, may actually still be the bottleneck of this machine. It will be the 3 5090s will bottleneck this processor. Okay, how much? I don't know. It would have to be like at load, rendering like the Taj Mahal or something in Daz Studio, okay, in order for it to bottleneck this machine, okay? So, but let's continue with our thing here. So we're going to go with this Noctua, all right? And this is it. And this is for the Threadripper. As you can see, it says here AMD's TR, okay, TR, okay, the TR, all these TRs, Ryzen Threadripper, okay. Checking in Angus and Gold Miner and Serenity's Gate. And we've got Brett, maybe Brent is still here, and George. Welcome, people. Welcome, welcome, friends. So we are going to add now in this cooler, okay? This will keep the Threadripper cool. I really trust these. Now, you can actually get these Noctua like rip-offs. They're like probably Chinese rip-offs of the Noctua. They're just as good, and they're like $10, okay? So, yeah, and they work. They work. They have just the same amount of cooling fins, the same amount of aluminum and all of this, but just they don't have the name brand. Yes, all are welcome here. So, okay, so this is going to be, let's say, $120, all right, for our, just with tax and all. All right, now we go back here, and this is the fun part. This is the beauty right here. Now, would do you need, you know, this Threadripper here? Could you possibly get by with a lower Threadripper? Not with 340, not with 35090s, no, okay? This is the fastest Threadripper processor chip for consumers in the world right now, okay? So we're going to put this in here, 96 core, and this is $9,000. So we put this here, and this is going to be probably 10,000, at least 10,000. And you'll probably have to pay excise, state tax and excise tax and all kinds of stuff for this to own one of these, okay? So, yeah, this is the Threadripper. Now, what's nice about this Threadripper, if you know anything about it, is it's got a whole ton of, it's 5.1, all right, now this is 2 terabyte, 128 PCI 5.0 lanes, okay? This is 128 usable PCI Express 5.0 lanes. And, okay, so this right here, and it says 350 watts. So, so this would just come up to your 2,000 watt. You'd have to have a 2,000 watt power supply to make this all work, okay? And it just barely would work, okay? There's a possibility you might want to leave one of those, like only buy 3 5090s. Only buy 2 at first. Get them running, okay? And then see about adding another one, because if it doesn't work, you could send it right back and get your money back, okay? If you send it right back to Amazon within a day or so, okay? So, but this, yes, everything here is exactly what you need, okay? For a chip to run 3 5090s. And so the only problem with it not running, okay, where it might not run, could be your power supply. Okay, the power supply may not, there might not be enough to run. We're talking 675 watts. 6 and 6 are 12, 13, yeah, 13. Okay, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we're up to 18. We may not be able to run 3. Now let's see, because it told me right here. This is my 2000 standards. Okay, this would be may not be enough for 3 cards. You're correct. Or a 600 watt, a 6 would be cut for a setup of with 3 NVIDIA 5090 GPUs. A 600 watt power supply would be cutting it close. Each 59 requires 575 watts. So 3 of them would be 1,725 watts. Okay, yeah, cutting it close. I mean, that's totally exceeding it. Okay, and then we're going to need another 250 for the chip. 7, 8, 9. 75. So we might be able to get by with a 2,000 watt power supply. Okay, so this is the logic here. Okay, so but it would 1,600 watts. Yeah, 35090s. That's what we're talking here. 3 of them, and wait till we got the cherry on the top coming. We got the motherboard that's going to run them. Okay, so all right, so this is next. This is the last part of this. This is the Asus. Okay, what is this? Okay, this was something. There are only 2 M.2 slots in the in this machine. Okay, so you may want to not buy only 25090s, and then you could possibly buy this. And okay, I didn't want to do that. Let's go back. Here we go. Open a new tab. We could buy this, and this would give us 4, 5. Yes, well, I just bought a car. This is my car. I just bought this a couple weeks ago. Mine's actually a Chevy Trailblazer. So yeah, 32,000, and so that would have been enough for me to buy this computer. But I may be able to afford it in a few months anyway. So I just got a new job, and so I think I'm sitting pretty with this, and I have a feeling I'm going to share this computer with you guys. I'm going to come on here, and it'll be like we're all working together on the same computer. Okay, that's what this channel is about. Is bringing good technology to people and letting them work with it. Okay, work with that technology, because it's out of reach to a lot of us, okay? So this right here is another possible option. Okay, this gives you 4 M5 Gen 5 M.2 slots. Now, okay, so we're not going to put that in for now because I have the 3 graphics card, the 3 5090s in. This right here is the workhorse, okay? This is this right here, it's almost as beautiful. Actually, my 4090 is going to be my streaming computer, okay? So it's going to handle all of the streaming of all my cameras and channels and stuff like that. So right now I have an Intel Arc doing it, and it's barely chugging along. I'm broadcasting to you people today in 4K. I mean, so I'm already doing a pretty massive thing right now, okay? I am broadcasting in 4K. So this motherboard right here, now look at this, okay? We take a look at this up close, and what we have is this is for one 5090 will cover, unfortunately, cover these 3 slots. And then another 5090 will cover these 3 slots. And so another 5090 would have to have enough room, okay, to stick down below. Now, this two LAN ports upload, yeah. And so now this, the thing is this is going to have, I don't see, now the, now inside of here, okay, these M.2, okay, there's an M.2. Now somewhere in here has got to be hard drive. Okay, here we go. We got at least 2 hard drive. Now that would accommodate my 24 terabyte hard drive. Yeah. So this would the thing is this is an animation machine. This is so that I can utilize Daz 3D for animation, okay? It's like a render farm, okay? So, yeah, so it's like, because all these CUDA cores, okay, and with 32 gigabytes of video RAM in all 3 cards, okay, I can't pool the memory together, okay? Windows won't allow that to be pulled together. There's no 5090 V-Link that works or anything like that. So, but it's going to have the CUDA cores of 3 5090s. And so this is, so at this point, this is our motherboard. Okay, now what I'm not liking about this motherboard, there's no other choice really. This is what it is. Now I'm wondering what this is, if that might be, because I'm only seeing 2 hard drive. We're seeing 2, there are only 2 M.2 slots. And then I see 2, now let's see, how many, would these be serial ATA, SATA? Okay, okay. So how many series, number of USB ports, other technical details? Yeah, we kind of want those if we're going to spend 10,000 on this. All right, I'm not seeing anything here. Let's see. Okay, how many serial ATAs? Okay, now the thing is, what I can do is ask, I can just ask, copy, "16 SATA ports, 12 additional SATA ports through 2 micro MCIO connectors, and 1 slips." That's amazing. See, I told you. The PCI slots are providing the max multiplier. Okay, you see, that's the thing, is all 7 of these PCI slots are directly connected to the CPU. Okay, all 7. Okay? They are not connected. None of them are connected to the chipset. Okay? So there won't be any kind of latency, synchronization issues between all three graphics cards. Okay? So that, I got that information from Copilot as well. All 7 of these are connected directly. They are directly connected to the Threadripper. Okay? And so that's pretty much it, people. This is the dream machine here. You have it all laid out for you. And so this is $1,124. Okay, for the motherboard. Okay, let's put it all together and see what we've got. That's this. And all right, so let's pull out the calculator. Save this. All right. All right, so we have 10,000. No, it would be back. I guess it would be 10,000. All right, clear this. All right, 10,000 plus 500 plus plus 1,400, which is for the terabyte, okay, plus 3,000. That's for the RAM, plus, now I don't think that RAM, I think that was more than 3,000. Maybe see, where's our RAM? I think that was more than 3,000. Okay, let's go back here. Go back here. Where's our RAM? Yeah, oh yeah, it was 3,000, okay. All right, so now we go back here. Okay, 3,000. The Noctua is 120. That's our cooler for the, 120. $120 plus. All right, and then we are talking about 10,000 for the Threadripper plus, and 1,124. 1, 2, 4 for the motherboard. So it's not as expensive as my car, okay? As my new car that I have sitting out front, my Trailblazer, it's not quite as expensive as that. It's only about 2 weeks old. I got it with 6 miles on it. This right here, yeah, so it's $26,000 for your dream Daz rendering computer with 3 5090s in it. I know, I am Batman. I am Batman. So I know you need to make sure that the PCI slots are providing the maximum multiplier. That's it. They are. Through that price point, they should with 128. Yes, with 128 PCI 5.0 PCI Express lanes. They will all be able to go, I believe, 32 gigs per card. And this ASRock motherboard, it's fairly new, okay? At CES this year, they didn't come out with the new version of it, okay? It's this is what we've got. This, of course, you know, it accommodates the biggest Threadripper in the world, okay? This is the dream machine here, okay? With our this fractal design case, which has enough space, I believe. Don't quote me though, for that third graphics card to stick down 2 more slots. So it's got 9 slot spaces, which would be enough to just barely stick all 3 of those cards in there. And probably what you would do, and I've already thought this out, is you'd run the thing laying on its side, because you don't want all that weight hanging on that motherboard. And there's no way to I don't believe there's a proper way to hoist them up and keep them from pulling down to so much weight on them. So you'd have to run this computer on its side. So yeah, I've already thought it through. I'm way ahead of you. I did all the research to put all this stuff together, okay? So we've got 3X RTX 90s, RTX 5090s. And that's roughly, okay, I said 6,000, I think. I did put 10,000, I believe, in. I wish I could look back and see the history just to make sure but we've got 10 and 10, that's 20, and 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, so this is right. So that's giving enough room for 10,000 for the 35090s in case the scalpers come in and everything. That's 10,000. So we might not be. They're supposed to be about $2,000 each, but they may end up being $3,000 each. You know, with the scalpers. So that's the thing. Now I've been looking at the 5090 lineup that's come out. I probably would go with an Asus myself. I really like, I think I would probably go with 3 Asus 5090s. Attached at 2 sides, should be good to operate in upright. That's providing that that there's motherboard attachments, because there's usually only like one. How do you get them out of the motherboard? Okay, because they're probably not going to have those auto release things. So yeah, there's some issues there, because once they're in that motherboard, they'll never ever come out. Yeah. Yeah, so I would probably, yeah, they do make support for them. Some of them hang down. You know, at this point, I could probably make my own supports and just jerry-rig them in, you know. Just a piece of metal that's bent over and flanged with a screw in it or something to help. But it's not going to be that much of a problem if I just lay the thing over on its side. It's not like it has a spinning CD-ROM inside of it or anything that's got to be upright or anything. There's no reason why it can't run on its side, and the airflow would still work. So I have my computers in the other room, So I drilled a hole in the wall, and all of my wires go through the wall, and they're all, so I can be in a room without all those heat makers and a room without all those fans. So I have two computers. I have a streaming computer, and I have a and then I have my 4090 workstation computer. So this is the dream. So now you all know what it's going to cost. You know that if you can come up with $26,000, and I left a little bit of room here, so let's say $27,000, or let's just go with 30,000, okay? So you're the world's best Daz rendering computer, okay, is going to cost roughly $30,000. Okay, now I went low on the RAM. Okay, I only went 512 gigs. Okay, and also let's take a look at these. Let's look at this Threadripper. Okay, because if you overclock the Threadripper, you might actually be able to compensate, because when you put three 5090s in this machine, the Threadripper is going to become the bottleneck, okay? And also, just think about this, is that when you own one of these computers, there's a possibility you could get a job using this computer for scientific research. Yeah, it is a hobby, but gold miner. But if you were to contact like some of these scientific research agencies, you could be hired for, you could be hired for doing scientific research with this, okay? And you could possibly get paid a huge wage, okay, for being an AI, for using AI to, do some folding. That's exactly right, for protein folding and all of that. Yes, 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 yes. So so this could mean, this could easily pay for itself if you're interested in that kind of thing. I've always wanted, that way back, if you remember, there was somebody made a program which allowed you to port out your renders to other computers. You had to go to a third-party website, and you had to download all this stuff, and then you had to set it up like all this network stuff. And now I see what you mean about this networking stuff, because yes, you possibly use that software there and set your Daz environment up on a couple of computers, and or your Daz environment on a network that and you could basically make two of these computers, and the two of these computers would be networked together, and you could have you could theoretically start hiring you could start hiring like Pixar animators and make the next blockbuster animation film, okay? So would this handle this? I mean, what are they using to make these animation films, okay? Are they super duper computers? Are they super AI computers? Are they these, what would you call it, supercomputers? They're like $1 million, multi-million, maybe $1 billion computer. I mean, what are they using to make these kind of, not Toy Story, but these new Pixar films and all? It's very proprietary. what they're using, and of course they're probably using, you know, Unreal Engine, some kind of gaming engine or something, I don't know, to make these films, or these other, there's 3D Max, there's all of these different options. So what they're using, or maybe they've developed their own type of modeler to do it, in animation modeler to do it. So I don't really know, but there is software that was developed to network computers together. Whether if that still would work, or whether if Daz has somehow evolved away from those working, I forget what they were called, but it was a Chinese web page somebody developed, and you could go there and you could download this, and it was really, you had to know a lot about networking to be able to set it up, where you could use multiple PCs to render stuff. So all you'd need would be 2 of these PCs. Well, that's it. Maybe 3, maybe 4 or 5. But the thing is, you know, a room full of these $20,000 computers, and you know, would be something else. That's, yeah, the CUDA is the thing, is that the CUDA functionality is the huge, and the fact that they have 32 now if you all remember that NVIDIA used to make these Quadro cards, okay? And you say, well, what about the Quadro cards? There are like $10,000 Quadro cards and all. Why not use one of those? Well, apparently NVIDIA doesn't make them anymore. They're gone. So right now, the only thing that's left, these Quadro cards, they just fell. NVIDIA went right to the RTX and the Blackwell. I guess it's the Blackwell. They went right to these, the RTX 5090. That's what it is. And I believe there were Quadro cards that had, I thought there were Quadro cards that had 64 gigs of video RAM in them, and there was something about them having, like, where they were not throttled, where they were allowed to render on the complete die and all of that. So where these consumer cards, where NVIDIA blocks them off so they can't render completely. Now, I wonder if they do that because they're like seconds, where the die, where the computer chip itself was kind of like faulty, and so they use these, they sell these because they have a couple of faulty areas, and so they can't be used all along the whole wafer. I'm not sure. The future for novices like us novices, I believe is in used equipment. I have 4 machines, and 2 of them are dual Xeon machines running dual CPUs. See, Brent, I have a rule that I go by, and my rule is I never, ever buy used computer parts or used anything computer. And that's because it just changes so quickly. Like I'll tell you right now, those 4 machines, and 2 of them with the dual Xeon, one 4090 would beat them both. Both of those computers together. One 4090. Okay, so You know, I don't know if you have a 4090 in them or two 4090s in them. Well, I stand corrected, but the thing is that they now the Xeon processors are another option. Now they do not have the. Now you have to go with the i9. You have to go with an i9 in order to get the lanes that you need. And the thing is that I'm sure that those dual Xeons, they don't have PCI Express 5.0. Okay, see, that's why I do not buy used, because what you're talking about is this gigantic, you put a 4090 in there and you're talking about it trying to go through. Art, I am here. I'm here. You missed this whole thing. We're in a very deep discussion today about building the most powerful computer in the world for Daz renders, okay? And so you want to watch the beginning of this video so you can get caught up on all of the parts and we came up with a price of about $30,000 for the most powerful computer. It's got three 5090 graphics cards in it, okay? The new ones that just came out. 3 of them in it, okay? It's got the latest Threadripper processor in it, and it's, I guess, I don't know why, but, you know, if I'm like one of the very few people in the world who puts this stuff in their wish list, all those sales shenanigans, I hate it, but the program and the assets are quite good. Yes. All right, you know, and you're very right. The program is excellent. The assets, the artists, they have come out with, you know, and I think what you mean by gold miner assets like the scripts and like things like ultra scenery and things like the environments, a lot of the hair, the figures. The Genesis 9 figure is amazing. Yes, even with the Genesis 9 figure being not the sexually neutral or whatever, that's all. I'm fine with that, because it just means I when I want to put a female morph, you know, or whatever on the figure, or something from a female figure or whatever on female clothing and all, I don't have to auto fit it. Everything works. That is a brilliant, and I hope they keep that for Genesis 10. Okay, I don't want to see that go away. All right. Most of the meshes for my case and posing tools I abused as to create 3D printables. Yeah, that sounds like a little too much information. I hope you're paying for those 3D printable licenses that Daz is trying to sell. I'm just kidding with you anyway, Gold Miner. But yeah, I don't envy anybody who's trying to use a 3D printer and have to buy all of those 3D printing licenses, and the same with anybody using them to make a game. Okay, I wouldn't buy the 3D gaming license until somebody buys your game. And if somebody buys your game, then I would think about, oh my gosh, I got to buy all these licenses for all this stuff here. I would just keep good records. Okay, but 3D printing in resin is neat. And so that was really nice. I kind of wish it had got. I'm a huge Intel fan, and the only reason why I'm going with the AMD chip is because Intel has kind of gotten out of the out of the multi-core thing. They've gone into these power cores, and they've gone away from multi-threaded stuff, and it seems as though right now the pinnacle of of the industry is this 192 threads, this Threadripper. It seems to be kind of the thing that's going with this. So let's open up Daz Studio now. Okay, we're switching gears. We're gonna put some kind of scene together now, and so yes, we are in Daz now. So we're gonna put a male figure in, or we'll put in our. This is how I always start a scene. I always put the figure in, get them kind of in it ready. I'm not going to put them in a pose yet until I figure out what kind of scene we're going to put in, but I'm going to put some kind of pants on them and put a male shape on them. We'll start with the male today, and then we're going to find some kind of scene, do something fun with it, with a 4090, okay? I don't have three 5090s to do it with today, but imagine what this would be like. Look how smooth this goes with the 4090. The 5090 is supposed to double. Now you hear all this stuff about the 5090, how it's got AI to fill in ray tracing and all, where the AI fills in frames. That won't work in Daz, okay? Daz is hardwired. It's that if you're going to go and make an animation, each frame has to be rendered, okay? Because Daz is a precision tool, okay? And so it's not going to allow you to, okay, so let's put some pants on our figure. Right, it's not raw performance. You're right, Lithium Logica. So it's not. It's smoke and mirrors, and in some ways it kind of corrupts the game because it's not really good with text. It's not, and it blurs some things out. The AI is just not really there. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would say 20%. It might be higher than that. I'm not sure, because this whole Blackwell architecture is supposed to be pretty good. But maybe you're right. Maybe I haven't heard. I still think 20%. It's going to be 20% more processing, but it's also going to be have more. It's going to have what, 10 more gigs worth of space? That's a lot. A lot of people here that come into these threads, that's all they have into my channel. That's all they have is like 10 or 11 or 12 gigs, and we're talking 32 gigs now for the 32 gigs of RAM, video RAM. Yeah, that's the game changer right there. And that's what I said, because I went on the forums and so that NVIDIA would see them. And I said, if you don't give us more RAM, I'm not going to buy I don't care how fast it is, I'm not going to buy your new 5090 graphics card if you don't give us more RAM. And I was kind of saying that we needed 64 gigs. But they went to 32, and it's like at least 24. No, I was saying 48 gigs, that we needed at least 48 gigs of video RAM. So they met me halfway and says, no, you'll have to buy 3 5090s, and then we'll come out with the 48 gigabyte video RAM. Then you'll have to buy 3 more. So at that point, I don't know. I'll sell them on eBay. So we're gonna now put a male shape on our figure. We'll go with my favorite one, Nego here, and then we'll put some skin on. Yeah. So Yeah, yeah, the 5090 is well, you know, and it's like and you know, I saw this video on YouTube, and some you know, it was a short, and I didn't even watch it because I kind of knew what it was, but it's like somebody said, "Do you know, is video RAM really all that important?" And it's like, obviously you're a gamer, and it's like they have no conception that some people just, you know, I play video games for I have really nice video games, the latest video games. I buy them and everything, but I just find that I don't have time to play them, you know? So I have to it's for us. This video RAM is for us, and we know what exactly what it is, okay? So all right, so we have a figure here. Now we're going to go and put some skin on him, okay? We'll go with Nathan's skin because it's kind of the best skin. And then let's put him in some beautiful world here. Find some clothing for him. Uh Oh, I've got an idea already because it's something that I bought today. And no, I don't think I bought it. I think I decided against buying it. We'll see. I got to have something kind of new. You'll get to see all the new things that I bought when I go into my default here. Okay, what have we got? Let's show us the money here. Okay, we're going to go install date recent first. Okay, I guess install date works. Yeah, I did buy it. Oh, good. Okay, so let's put this on him, the Rockstar outfit. Okay, right here we go to wardrobe, all. Let's put this on him. And then we can get rid of the shorts. They're probably poking through. Okay, and now let's go out of here and let's put him in the Graffiti Cellar. You guys probably already saw this one here. We'll merge this in so it doesn't replace our scene. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. We got a few cameras here. Graffiti Cellar. Let's see what these camera presets have. Camera here. That's kind of from behind. And let's see what this one is. Camera 3. That one looks up. Camera 4. I like this one. Okay, so we'll go with camera 4. And these cameras, we'll get rid of these. And this one. And we'll just move this out. We'll unparent it. And we'll get rid of the camera presets thing. Okay, let's what we'll do is we'll take this. Where's our Genesis 9? Okay. Graffiti Cellar. We'll put the camera in the Graffiti Cellar. And then we'll go to the perspective view. And let's take a look at our camera here. See if we can get inside the cellar here. And what we've got to do is move the cellar over like this. Control 9 and in. Okay, in. Okay, like this and like that. Come on. Okay, let's see what. Okay, this, like this, and like this. And we'll rotate the cellar, Y, rotate, like that, like this. Let's see what we got here. Camera. Okay, we're going to bring, okay, so go back here, back to our perspective view. Bring this in a little more like that, like this. Perspective, camera. Okay, this kind of works. Let's bring now. Okay, I'm going to break one of my rules and just turn this guy like this. And turn him a little bit more. Y rotate. Let's get him in some kind of pose. Bring him over. Like this. Okay, how about over here? Z, X, bend. Look at us. Save. Okay. Shelter. Okay, and we'll go here with Iray. Okay, we got some kind of atmosphere in here. So we got to put, and this camera looks like it has depth of field on. We'll turn that off. And now we'll put point light. All right, let's bring this point light up. I would ask you to try out that script for making morphs to do complex soft deformation stuff. Like someone sitting on a seat, resting. Yes, Lithium Logica, I completely, I think I had Matteo come into I think I deserved an F for my portrayal of that product. An interesting comparison between GPUs I saw was someone comparing how many Genesis models they could get into a single render before it crashed, before any tricks and optimizations, of course. I would ask, okay, so we're going to go like this, 2. All right, save this. Let's give him some hair. and some Chet hair maybe. Now try this with some hair. Let's find some hair for you, Guy. Okay, I have to select him first. Let's save this and let's lock our camera. Now I think this is okay. Let's take our camera. Where's our camera? And we're gonna move this out now, unparent the camera, and then we'll lock it. So we could theoretically move the scene now a little bit here and there. His feet are going through the ground. It doesn't matter if we're not going to be seeing it. So he's a short guy. Yeah, well, we're all in the same boat. This 5090 is the answer. So, but you know, I'm thinking 3 of them. You know, I want 3. I want 3 of them so that I can use them, so that I can utilize for once and for all the animation part of Daz and all. And so that's kind of my idea, so that when I go to render an animation, it's going to go boom, 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 boom. It's almost going to be like, you know, 30 frames a second rendered. Now, I might not, you know, it's not going to be like that. Well, with all of those CUDA cores, with 3 graphics cards CUDA cores going at it, rendering the iterations, oh yeah, we're going to, like what you're doing, Brent, is they're just going to go with the 4090. The 4090 is really, 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 really nice. So you will be very pleased if you can get a 4090. Yeah, I don't see that as a problem. Yeah, I can see that as a solution for, okay, I keep doing this and then I don't have him selected. So we got to select him. Then we can try to put this Chet short hair on him and see what he looks like. Yeah, that works. And so let's give him some scruffy beard stuff. Hair beard. We're going to go with the Thomas beard. That's my favorite beard right now, is the Thomas beard. Save. And now his eyebrows. We're gonna get rid of the feminine eyebrows here. Eyebrow card, get rid of that, and we'll give him the, where are the brows? Brows. I don't know if I have them selected. I've done this again. No, I don't. Brows. Okay, there we go. Something a little bit more substantial for the brows. Okay, and it looks like there's some kind of warp to this. It's 26 focal length. What do we go? 32. All right, this works. Now I think I'm going to take and make this light a little bit less warm, a little colder. So it looks a little more natural. And we could just kind of put Budweiser along his forehead. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm kidding. All right. So let's see what this looks like in a render. All right, so we're going to go to render settings, which is right here. And we'll go at 2000 is good. Render maximum samples, maximum time, and we turn that off. Save this again, and let's do a render here. Yeah, that's a 2,000 watt power supply. For 35090s, you need at least 2,000 watts. Okay. This kind of works. I'm wondering where this really intense contrasty light is coming from out there. Let's go to parameters and see if it changed my environment settings. No, this is still this environment map. The draw dome is on. Okay. Oh, the intensity got changed to 80%. Okay, I got that wrong. Rereading now. Probably. Yeah, 359 is going to be a render beast. Yes, it will. And that's the thing, is rendering, you know, now I might not be rendering 4K animations with that, but rendering 1080p animations would probably like, you know, it's going to be really fast. So, now let's take his skin and let's just give him a few blemishes here and there. We'll go with smart content. We go out of here and we're looking for skin. What was this skin? Oh, now I've forgotten the name of it. Detailer. Detailer. And we'll give him preset 1. We just put some layers on his skin of like little blemishes and pock marks and things like that, just so his skin doesn't look so perfect. Maybe we can give him some chest hair. So what do you guys think? Do you think Daz is going to come out with another bundle before the end of the month, or are we stuck with the devil bundle? Because we you know, us Premiere people who pay for Premiere, we get a free bundle, and right now that's the only bundle I haven't bought. Is every bundle in the Daz store I own. So when so I kind of am stuck with buying the bundle. I think now there's a possibility. Now I don't know why. Now the new house bundles that they have, it's okay. So now he's a little bit more ruddy looking. Let's go with some body hair body. We'll go with this stuff, all right? And I'll probably take it off his arms and legs if I have to, but I may not have to. So we'll give him some chest hair, so there's something there instead of just, and that will probably fill him in the rest of the way. And I think I'm going to move the light so it's not, so that this eye is a little bit more in shade. Parameters, perspective. Let's take our light. Let's come down on this light. Okay, and we take like this. And we go with the light. Let's bring it over like that. And back a little bit. Now let's see what our camera looks like. There we go. I think a little bit more perspective. So, because it's just hitting that eye just a little bit. Perspective, back to the camera. There we go. And I think I want this light a little bit less warm also, because it's just too warm. Okay, there we go. Maybe we could bring it down a bit. 1. Save this. I don't buy nothing anymore until I made enough to use of my past purchases. Therefore, I won't guess on new releases. That's probably, everybody, I don't criticize anyone's store buying patterns, because I realize that there are 2 ways to do it, okay? One way is to buy what you need, okay? And the other way is to, so you can buy what you need is like, you say, oh, I need to have a dog, a German Shepherd or whatever. So you go into the store and hopefully it's on sale. If it's not on sale, well, you end up paying a lot of money for that darn German Shepherd, okay? A lot. Sometimes it's just like full price, like $32 or something, okay? And that's one way of doing it, okay? And so that way you only own the things that you needed for your particular renders, okay? Then the other way of doing it, okay, I'm sure there's a bunch of little steps in between, ways in between, okay? But the other way of doing it is you just wait until everything, so you say, I'm not going to buy anything unless it's on an 80% off sale, okay? And so you wait until it's on an 80% off sale, and then you buy it. And I'm wondering if this hair is turned off. And then so you buy only things that are on an 80% off sale. Use for later projects. Then I got a bunch of interactive licenses, so I could use a lot of specific stuff in 3D. Well, you can use it in 3D as long as it's not interactive, So I would only buy the license if people are buying your game, okay? I wouldn't buy interactive licenses. You don't need them in your game unless somebody else is coming in and interacting with that object, like a customer that bought your game. And if they're not, you can use all of your Daz stuff in, yeah. Well, the thing is, there's a difference between intent and actual customers who have bought your game, okay? I wouldn't buy them unless, I wouldn't buy the interactive licenses unless people start like buying your game like crazy. And as they buy the games, then I'd start like buying them like crazy. I would make detailed records of what you use in your game, okay? Only what you use in your game. I would make a very detailed record, and I wouldn't buy the interactive licenses unless people actually buy your game. Let's say, yeah. No, I probably you're right about that. Okay, even if you sell, whether if it's one sale or a million, you're probably right about that. If you release a game, you know, so I certainly wouldn't buy them until the game is released. I mean, some of those games, some games, they take, you know, 50 people, 10 years to make it, and you know, $10 million. So yeah, you just keep, yeah, you keep records, and I wouldn't buy them until the game is done, at least. Okay, that's the thing is they do go on sale now. If there's like an 80% off sale on game licenses, then I might jump in and try to buy a bunch of them. You know, the cheaper ones. If you know if you're very sure that your game is going to get done and there's no indication whether if you're actually going to, now he's a little bit pale, but I guess he kind of fits the scene. So let's see what this, so before I buy, I will check if I really need it for the current project. Yeah. But there was a day when I realized I had purchased thousands of assets, a huge part of them already forgotten, and only really made use of a few dozen. But the thing is I would always check it to see what's on sale. And and you have to read everything, you know, and you have to make sure, because if you combine, you put one extra item in and all of a sudden the price is cut in half of everything just because you add, so you get an extra item for like a really nice new item. You get a new item by just throwing a new item in with a bunch of older products, and all of a sudden the price is cut in half. So I do that. I just finagle and fiddle and make everything until I get the lowest price possible, and I do that on a daily basis, and so that my collection is complete. And so someday it's going to pay off, you know, because if I end up with that $30,000 computer with, there's a lot of things I'd like to see. Now, the Philosopher, you guys know who he is, right? He made animated butterflies. There's animated, I think he made animated dust particles. There's animated field grass, okay, where the grass blows. Animated birds. You guys know what products I'm talking about? See, it's like, yes, I own 13,000 products, okay? But I know what those products are because I got up at 2 in the morning, and I went over them with a fine-tooth comb, and before I bought them, to bring that price down as low as possible, or I just won't buy it if it's not like really low. So it took me forever to get the birds ones, because that one they wouldn't go put them on sale for nothing. But you know, the grass one where the grass blows in the wind, oh, and you get this whole big field thing, that's really nice. If you look up the Philosopher, well, let's go to the Daz store. Let's go to here. Animated grass. Here it is, World Builder. Ultimate Grass and Meadow World. Okay, is this it? I think this is it. Yeah, animated. You have to buy both grass and meadow. Check this out. This would be really fun to do with the just the grass. And look how terrible this video is. Imagine being able to I think this was done in 320. Yeah, look at the little bees. He's got bees also, and look at the grass. Look at that. Yeah. Imagine being able to look, and I mean, this is so far ahead of its time. Even though this was rendered at 320 by 240, it's up to you if you want to render this higher. This little video is a work of art. This is massive. I mean, this is what happens when you buy everything. You learn everything. You learn the whole store. It's like it's part of your palette, okay? So that's the thing. And now he's going to talk about how to use this. I believe this is Philosopher. The Philosopher, yes. He's got a ton of stuff. Now, if it says hide items I own, he's got real animated bird flocks. You saw them in there. Animated clouds, animated trees, okay? And there are also animated leaves that fall from trees. I don't think they're part of his. Look, animated dandelions, animated butterfly, animated dust particles. And he's also got this 32K planet Earth. And you've got these lens flares. These are amazing, these lens flares. I've done videos on them. And the God rays and the this is a very complex product right here. So, this flying fabric is a very nice, I own, as you can see, look at this. I own this, and the animated fabrics, the peeled ones, that's cool. I'd like to own it, but I don't have it. And you see, they're quite expensive, like 20 bucks for that, 30 bucks for the animated dandelion, 30 bucks. I didn't pay more than like 5 bucks for any of these, okay? You just wait until they're on sale, and then you buy them. Look at this, the mountains of Altair. They actually look like this. These mountains, this are amazing. And this is just so amazing. This is really, and you've got this cinematic one in the blue Altair. You have different colors. So yeah, look at the detail in this. It's not a picture. It's not like a backdrop. These are actual mountains that you put into the scene. I don't either. I don't do animations because I tried doing the grass one, and I tried. Maybe I should have done it without putting figures in it, but you know, you don't want the figures just kind of going and looking up at the sky. You want them kind of moving and talking and pointing and doing. You want them to move some, and it's like, and then you know, you've got two figures and they're trying to look up at the sky and they're laying in the grass together and looking up and pointing at the birds or something, and you've got to animate they got to blink and they got to do, and your computer just kind of slows to a halt in Daz animation because everything is so high quality. You know, and it's like, oh, maybe I can put the mountains in the background. And, you know, it's just like all of a sudden the scene just gets so busy you can't move anything. Yeah, you have to be smart with and bake things, and you have to do canvas renders and all kinds of stuff to make stuff work. You could theoretically just take and put a, just leave the scene with no background, like with the checkerboard, you know, transparency, and then put a video behind it in Photoshop, but that's just kind of defeating the purpose. It'd be really nice to be able to do some of this stuff in real time. So yeah, so this is an amazing product right here. This right here, these mountains, I've used them before. I put some trolls climbing up through the mountain and made a little story. Not trolls, like dwarves. There was like 5 of them, all in a row, walking with different clothes, and they had snow on their and they're way up in the mountains, and I created this story about them. So, but yeah, this the Philosopher stuff, I bought it way back early, you know, and I've owned it for a long time and never really been able to use it because it's just so animated clouds, just and these are not VDB clouds. These are called, I believe, procedural or algorithmic clouds. Daz has 2 different kinds of cloud systems. One is VDB, which is a box. It's the VDB is a box, and inside the box, it has they're not vectors. They're vertices. No, they're not vertices. Voxels, okay, and they're voxels. They're like pixels. They're but 3D pixels. Okay, it's not just length and height, but it's depth. Okay, so that's why they're called, instead of pixels, they're called voxels, and most of the voxels are turned off, and the only ones, and that's how it tricks the computer so that it can do VDVs. Remember the voxels, yes, voxels, and that's remember in Bryce we had volumes, okay, but they took forever, even on a 4090, you know, they took forever. They used the CPU to render and all this kind of crazy stuff, and the stuff we had to endure back then with this. But it's because those were particle fields where every single particle was on. But with voxels is what they are, and those are what's in a. That's it. Those voxels are inside of a box. And there's a name for that box too, okay? But the only voxels that the computer has to compute, because all the other ones, if it's not an actual part of the volume, part of the VDV, then it's 0. Okay, so the computer doesn't have to kind of pay attention to them. It's just one piece of data. Okay, that's 0. And it only has to pay attention to the voxels that are turned on. Okay? And so, and depending on the density. And so that is, and so, but Daz also has this algorithmic clouds, okay? And it's a voxel container, yes. Yes, it's awesome. I love VDVs. Well, I'm a current subscriber to what's it called? Jenga. Yeah, so I pay them every month, and for this, and so I own this whole suite, and I've probably got another like 12 months or 15 months to pay them, and then I own all of these. I own EmberGen, LiquidGen, GeoGen, and the Elemental Suite. Oh well, I guess that's it. So It's 400. So if you pay them every month, and it's quite expensive, it's like 29 bucks a month for like a year and a half. And then you own them. You own them. You own that version. And it says, well, 220 for maintenance annually. Well, you know, I may not do that. I might just not buy the maintenance, okay? You don't have to keep paying them. It's up to you if you want to upgrade your versions, okay? But so what I'll probably do is just once they're paid for, then I'll own EmberGen and LiquidGen and GeoGen. And I'm pretty good at using these, okay? And so you go into this EmberGen. These are really nice. And it does, you can animate VDBs in Daz Studio. Okay, each frame is a different VDB. And the thing is Daz Studio doesn't have all of the features yet because I believe that the VDBs are an open source creation. And so whether if Jenga has expanded on that open source thing, I don't think they have. I think when Jenga does something, I believe it's first implemented into the VDB container before Jenga then implements it into their program. So there's some really cool stuff here. So very nice stuff. Community support, presets, marketplace. You go into here, and I own a bunch of these. I own these cloud presets. I own the fire presets. And I believe I own most of these. I think all three of these, but I'm not sure if I bought all three. But yeah, I could just open up EmberGen. EmberGen here. So hopefully it opens. Yeah, so I mean, I pay for it, and this gives me, look at this. Look at this stuff. It's just amazing. This is why I absolutely love VDBs and all. So it might be updating. There might be. So as long as I'm, okay, a new version is available. Okay, I'm going to dismiss that. I'll do it later. Okay, so, but we have presets. These are all the presets. And we've got cameras, and look at this, the heat. Well, it's some kind of chamber. This is really nice. The clouds, these sparkles. It's a fireball, magic projectile. Excuse me. Collapsing. This would be. So a lot of this looks like sand, but it's really smoke. I believe maybe smoke with particles, little particles embedded in. And this is beautiful right here. So any of these you can. Well, you can't really, because all Daz understands right now is smoke and fire. Okay, the flame, which would be, it can do smoke, and it can do fire, but I don't believe it does particles yet. And it can't do gradients. So the fire, if you'll notice, notice this has gradients. They have different colors here. The only way you can do gradients, I think that when you compute it and export it afterwards. Yes, you compute it you run the animation, and then you export a series. Jay does a video. I've done videos on it as well. So Jay does a video on, yeah, both of us have videos on how to create a series of VDBs, each one, and then what you do is you have to load each one in per frame into Daz, and you play the animation, and there's your animated weather. You know, Daz's animation tools are not just a minute. I am allergic to my world. Daz's animation tools. Now, if you go into the Daz store and you buy animation tutorials, there are some really, really good ones that have come out recently in the last couple of years. And they're by a particular guy, and I bought them, and I've really enjoyed listening to them because he knows his stuff, and it's like there's so much stuff I want to really learn, but animation, that's the way to learn animation in Daz Studio is through his videos. Okay, they're much more in depth than anything I've ever done here. In regard to animation on my channel. So let's see if I can find some of them here and lead you to them. So let's go here, animation. I know, okay, Nanimation. Okay, I think this is it. Yeah, this is his work. Okay, this is his work also. I would say these two right here. This one is a big one. Movie Magic, Artistry of Kara. Okay, that's not it. It's this. So if we go to this, we'll get to his page. It's Darton Beck. And if we go to the artist store, okay, these right here. This one right here, of mastering hair and urban environments. Now, that might be an animation one, okay, but it's these two right here. These are amazing, and you see they're like 40 and 50 bucks. I don't think I paid more than $5 each for them. That's why you go to the Daz store every single day, because when this thing goes on sale for $5, buy it. Okay, these are really big. This is, oh my gosh, I can't tell you how much awesome information. If you study these, you can take, and probably, even with a fairly weak system, work around your limitations and create some pretty good animations. Now you look at this, and look at the stuff. Each one of these is like, this is video 2, an hour and 45 minutes, and video 1 is an hour and 50 minutes, I think, or it's just 50 minutes. Video 2, and there's 2 videos in this section. And then with precision, the power of aniMate 2, animating with precision. And he gives you, I think, an extra video here. This is 1 hour. This one's 30 minutes. This is an hour and 9 minutes. An hour and 2 minutes. Bonus, okay? This is a big one right here, the bonus video. Walk construction kit. And there's also more videos here, another bonus one here. These are bonus here. Icon Creator Pro for our new walk collection, and on multiple dart circles, minutes. Okay, so just get both of these. They are really, really good. And the thing is that his animation is not bad. Okay, like if we go here, I think, yeah, this isn't bad. You know, look at what he does here. Do I have sound?
Let's dig into
There may not be
animating
sound
in Daz
involved.
Studio,
Okay.
utilizing
Then he's going to
the
talk.
power
So let's watch
of
this video.
aniMate 2. In addition to adding and linking
I think there's sound here.
to
I'm just not
animator
sure why I don't
characters, aniMate 2
have any.
has a lot of excellent, very useful tools and features that can really help enhance our experience. aniMate parent constraints to objects on the figure.
Okay, it's got to be here. I think I have to turn off sonar work. And this guy. It could be me, it's just that I don't have, there's no audio here, could be, but I don't think that's the
directly in the
case,
viewport.
He's got this guy, 3.4.
Example uses of 3D Universe's Limb Stick plugin. We'll explore graph editor techniques, define keyframes, and discuss the tweeners that interpolate them.
From that guy, yes, he is a good. You know, I thought, oh, you know, any animation you're gonna, except like Pixar stuff, you know, you're gonna look at it and say, well, her hair kind of looks stiff, and she's kind of smiling like this, and she talks, and, you know, but really, try doing it, and so, oops, what did I do? Okay, let's go back here.
We'll take a brief look at techniques of animation rendering for common post-production practices. Like the benefits of using
Okay, that looks like Philosopher's tree.
iReal products by the Philosopher.
Yep. Oh, my mic? Oh, okay. Yeah, because this is so loud. I'm not sure why I couldn't get it. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I have to bring my mic back up. Thank you. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay, we'll bring my mic back up, and then I have to switch this over to my other, to another channel. Okay, so I think it's 5.6. Let's try 5.6. All right, and we'll try turning that down some. Okay, what am I doing here?
Animating
There we
your
go.
vehicles using Linday's animation four-wheeler template. Even
Okay.
set up our own custom car to work with the template.
There we go. I think we got it.
We'll
Mixamo.
explore the wonders of Mixamo and how I get professional results onto my modern characters.
Now, I'm sure this is some of this stuff you guys know like really well, you know, so, but it's really nice to see his take on it, okay? And right now, Daz, let's jump over the Mixamo stuff, okay? Because we all kind of know about that. That's
Daz
part of
Studio Animating in general. Animate 2 comes freely with Daz Studio, but for some of the things that we do in here, if you're not finding them in your Daz Studio, you would need to get this paid version of
there again,
Animate.
and the Animate 2, you just have to wait until that's on sale. I don't think I paid more than like, again, $3 or $4, $5 for Animate 2. You just wait. That's why there's two ways to go about it. It's like buy it when you need it, but when you need it, it's going to be full price. It's in the Daz store.
Oh, what a blast.
Yeah, he does some good. He uses the same character a lot, but he does a lot. You know, I'm not going to diminish his work because he's amazing. Okay, this guy. This is how you learn this stuff. And that was one video. There's got another one here, I think. Let's try not to get blasted.
For those of you who may be new to Animate or Daz Studio Animating in general, Animate 2 comes freely with Daz Studio.
All right, I'm not going to play his video, okay, because it's probably not fair to like play his video, even though I'm plugging his content. It's probably you need to come here and watch his video. But there's two products that I'm recommending. There may be another one here that I'm not seeing. I think this is the one this is the latest one. I think this came out like in 2023. Read me. I mean 2024. Yes, this one is amazing. Okay, he goes into. I don't know why I've got something. I'm not sure what it is, but I've not been able to figure out there's something creating noise in this. But we'll turn this mic down, okay. In that channel, and I've not been able to figure out what it is that's causing it. So this particular one where he talks about, showcases about morphs that you can, I mean, I never really conceptualized that your morphs and like now in parameters that you can animate a morph, and that's what and so. So your morphs are like a smile, okay? Like, and so when you need, or the arm forward, arm back, arm up, you know, hand closed, hand closed, hand open, these kind of, they're morphs. You can get morphs like that. And so what you do is you create a whole catalog of morphs. And then as you're moving your hand, okay, it opens the hand, okay, like it to go like that and to open your hand. So that's one morph that you have in your collection of morphs. And as you're doing your animation, you can just open their hand and add that morph right into all the timeline. It's how the way Daz works. Animation, Daz, you'll hear a lot of people saying that Daz is horrible and their animation is the worst, and this guy, he says, no, they're very, very wrong. He says that he's worked in many animators and many programs, and the Daz animation is like really, really, really good, okay? The way it is, okay? And if you notice that Daz hasn't really done much updating to their animation stuff in a long time. It's because it's already there. It's already really, really, really good. And so it's really just waiting. The problem with animating in Daz, yes, I think you're very right about that gold miner. That's a beautiful, that's that's a beautiful phrase. The thing is that I had the man who taught me everything I know about computers. He used to always tell me to use the right tool for never use the wrong tool for a job. Okay, because it's one way to get hurt. Okay, for a carpenter to get hurt. Okay, is trying to use a screwdriver as a drill. Or a dull knife as to whittle with or something. Yeah, you have to have the right tool for the right job. And especially when it comes to computers, a lot of times there are very special tools that are made for one specific thing, and that's it. And so you have to have the right tool for the right job, but that doesn't negate your saying either, okay? So, because they're both equally true. And so that's the thing, is that the Daz, and the problem with animating in Daz is not that Daz is poor at animating. The problem with animating in Daz is because Daz models are so high quality that you have to strip that quality out so you can animate them and then put the quality back in right before you render. And that's what animators do. And I think it was somebody, it might have been you, Gold Miner, it might have been Brent, it might have been let's see, I think it was somebody who said, it might have been Serenity's Gate who said it, or Lithium Logica, but what you need to is taking your figures and like baking things and taking doing any kind of trick that you can. YouTube is full of videos where animators talk about the tricks they use tricks that they use as animators in actual like 3D movies. Like half of the backgrounds are fake, and anything that they can bake, anything that they can, even shadows where they'll create fake shadows, and they'll do all kinds of tricks to make things look real when they're not. And they have a whole toolbox of techniques that they use to make things look real. To create I bet people would blame for using Daz to create 3D printables. It's no easy task, and look about 2 years to become somewhat comfortable, but it works for me. Yeah, everything diffuse, normal. It sounds, Brett, it sounds like you are amazing with textures. I kind of just use what I have at hand. But yeah, like, I go in and I tweak with things, and I'll tweak with their skin color, and I'll do stuff, but working, like really knowing all of the diffuses and the normals and the all of the different, I play around with emission a lot, and with opacity textures. And I like to do effecty kind of stuff, but I really wish I knew more about and layers. I do a lot with layers, But I really wish I knew more about adding like all of the different, we just go into the textures here, into surfaces, and there's a ton of stuff that diffuse. Now I know what the roughness kind of does, but and that all these dual lobe things, and and really working with I know what normal maps are, but there's a lot about them that I don't know, and bump maps also, and then there's also these top coat and metal flakes. I really, I've been doing this for many years, working with these shaders, and there's still so much that I would really could know. And there's Parmy. Do you guys know who I mean when I say Parmy? He does YouTube tutorials. He has a YouTube channel, and he does. He has some videos where he explains all of these things in here. A lot of them. Okay, there are many of them. Okay. But he goes like, because these are new, these are part of these dual lobe and all. Some of these are now new because of the PBR stuff that's been added. I would say he is amazing. He has some videos where he explains every one of these. And then there's also another, I don't know, I think it's Aisha. ESHA. She sells some texture tutorials. And let's see what we have. Yeah, texturing by Aisha. Here we go. And these are other things that are amazing. And I think she's got a bunch of them. And anything that she does. So we go to this texturing, and we go to her page here. And Daz shoes. Now I think she Iray expert guide. Look at this. See how to create shaders and realistic materials, realistic lighting for portraits and sets. 12-hour searchable tutorial. 12-hour tutorial. And now I haven't. This has to go. This has to go in my wish list. And at one point, this was $37. And if you take this is $125 for this. If you go, and the lowest it's ever been is $37. And now that was on the 12th day of January. That was like a few days ago. All right. This was only $37. And if you happen to have 8 tokens, then you could have gotten this thing for down to about $20 or $22 or something like that, and gotten this 100 hour of and learned everything about shading and HDRIs and lighting and everything. This is amazing, and her tutorials are very pleasant to listen to. Okay, she is amazing. Okay, this is all. And now you got another one here: how to master Iray lighting for realistic character portraits. Okay, so that one's not quite as this one is to creating Iray shaders. This is huge. Though I tried to wrap my head around it, usually these things are still mostly trial and error. For me, yes, they are. That's the thing, is you're very right. From Poser, Photoshop, and Daz, yeah, I take image texture images into Photoshop a lot, edit them, and reload them in Daz. That's, to me, is just common. I do that all the time. If I want to take writing out of something, like there's a logo or something embedded into the texture, I'll go into Photoshop and edit it out of the, sometimes you even have to edit it out of the bumps. If there's a scar on somebody's face and I want to get rid of it, I'll just go into Photoshop and clone the scar out. But you have to clone it out of all the different maps that have the scar in it, because sometimes they're really good about making that scar a scar. So, but this right here is amazing. Now it's up to its regular price, but I really wish that I had something that would go ding in my life whenever something goes like on a sale like this down to $37, okay? Because this is amazing. You study this, and just how important are textures and shaders in Daz. Well, you know, and this is Iray, even though we've all switched over to PBR lighting, I mean to PBR textures, this is still very, very relevant. Okay, so so this is all now. This digital art live. This is this they these two have cooperated together, I think, to do this digital art. So ultra scenery. Okay, rendering engines. ZBrush rendering engines, okay, 3D set design, deep postwork, okay, optimizing Daz Studio rendering, okay, studio mastery. We're looking for more scene power building, deforce, for more texture stuff, deforce, comic books, deforce, kit bashing. Okay, Textures Universe by Fane. Okay, workflow. Okay, so Textures Universe. This may not be what we're looking for, but light up the night, community lighting for dark scenes. Okay, creative Daz Studio Skin. Okay, so these are things that should be in my wish list. And there again, look at this. On the 13th, this went down to $14. It's normally $48. What is this, though? Creating and applying your own textures to your own 3D content puts you in a pole position to demonstrate unique artwork for your renders, allows you to repurpose old content in your scenes, providing your assets with a fresh look each time. In Texture Universe, creating and editing textures for Daz Studio and Poser. Well, what's Poser? Well, I think, you know, I don't mean to be, you know, but this might be old, okay? Let's see. It probably is. That's why they're mentioning Poser. 2021. So 20. So it's a few years old. All right, so it's not that old. It's Iray. Okay, so, but overcome the fears of understanding the shader mixer. That's a big one. It's like, yeah, you know, it's like that's one reason why I kind of hate Blender, is because of the nodes and all the node stuff. So eventually you have to start learning all this node stuff. You know, it's just, I know a little bit of it, but not only the tip of the iceberg, very, very little about this. Who is this to? For artists who are learning to generate textures for their assets from scratch. I would say this is for everybody, because you have to learn, you know, I guess you should learn, you know, eventually you have to, you know, I see so many promos in the Daz store where they've got these two people. One of them is like white as a ghost, and the other one is like their skin is like all red and like, you know, and they don't fit together. You know, it's just like that's 101 is learning to take and get their skin textures to look like, so one of them is not beet red and the other one's not like pale as a ghost, so that they kind of look like they belong in the same universe. That's basic stuff, is being able, but you know, a lot working with pale skin, adding tan to a skin, adding grunge and dirt. All this is amazing stuff. This belongs in my stuff. This is something I should be learning from. Okay, and there's another one here. Okay, Daz Studio Skin, and again, this is $20. It was down to $6.29. And with a with eight tokens, this would be like $3. Okay, and how long is this? This is an hour and 20 minutes. So, but I bet there's a lot of really good stuff in here. Bob, Genesis 8.1 eyes, Karen, close up artwork of her face, half submerged in water. Stubble on males, okay, her learning to draw it maybe. Trevor Hitchcock placing a different skin, using older skin from Lyra, Genesis 8 female on young Lyra, Genesis 8. Okay, older and younger skin properties discussion. Darkening a skin tone using postwork. See, I do that right in Daz. Skin tone testing, comparisons. But it doesn't, sometimes a skin tone is just, yeah, sometimes you have to darken, let me think now, because if it's all the way up, like, and it's all the way up to like as high as it can go with brightness, then I use gamma. Then I'll go in and use gamma to lower the brightness. Gamma is like a different thing, and I don't know why Daz doesn't give us gamma settings and parameters, because it's like a different setting. I don't really understand that, but skin tone testing, Chris Shaw, creation of a goblin minion, Genesis 8 male, body morphs and then applied, Hell Ambassador, skin textures, maps, HDR maps challenging the use of, okay, so this goes in my wish list as well. Let's see, where were we? Daz Studio Content Creation Mastery Bundle. Okay, this one's already in my stuff. Substance Designer, that's another program. Okay, we got this. To texturing clothing. Okay, now I own this one. I've listened to a great part of that. Supercharge your Daz content with GIMP. Okay, if you use GIMP, here it is. Okay, this is that's very helpful. I use Photoshop. Easy modeling and morphing with Blender. Okay, now this is part of a this whole. This is $210. It's using Hexagon in Studio. I got this whole thing for like $10 on sale. All right, so that's the thing, is that I might have paid like 20 or 25 for it, but yeah, I waited and waited and waited. Now, if you go in here. Okay, and then I added all kinds of things, all kinds of stuff to it. Okay, at one point, it was down to 105. I know I didn't pay more than like $20 for this. Okay, and it's 200, and it's hours and hours of worth of, and teaches you how to model in Hexagon. But it's like, if you learn how to model, if in Hexagon, you can model in Blender, you can model in any modeling software. It's all the same thing. It's extruding things and creating meshes and all of that. So I haven't even brushed the surface of that. It's something, and it's another thing that I bought and haven't gotten a chance to. I did listen to some of them. So grunge shaders, okay, seashore. So we're looking for texture tutorials, tinkering with textures, okay. Let's see, this could be good. Iray displacement. Okay, secrets. Now this has to do with our bumps and stuff. Uh, uh, yes. This is another one. This one's 50% off. It's $10 now. Okay. Iray displacement secrets. Now it's $10 right now. It's been down to $8 before. And so that one's added. And tinkering with textures, Tiffany Gray. Changing diffuse color, changing bumps. This is exactly the kind of stuff. And in January, again, this was down to, I think we're still in January. Are we? No. January, yeah. Yeah, it's still January. Okay, it just went back up. Daz was probably trying to tell us that these were, yeah, I remember there was it was like a special sale. Yeah, that's went on at the beginning of January for quite a while, quite a few days from the, from the 11th to the 13th. So it wasn't that long. So this went down to $7, which with if you have 8 tokens, that brings this down to like $3 or $4. And you learn everything, all this stuff about texturing. So I know I'm telling you guys stuff that you already know about, about these tutorials. You probably maybe you don't know about these particular ones, but you know about this stuff. You know how important this stuff is. Now how to create new Daz Studio custom creature. Okay. Fueling your renders with Octane. Okay, that's lighting tutorial. Guide to texturing clothing. Now I own this one. This is Aisha. I think I just saw this one. This is part 5. I believe I bought the whole set. Let's see. This is a huge set. It's part of, yeah, see, texturing clothing complete guide bundle. Yeah, this is a good one. This one was 200, I believe I paid like $30 for this. And it comes with all of these texturing. I've listened to a good number of these. There's 32 sessions, 15 chapters. And you don't want to pay full price for this. It was all right, it was down to $53, and with 8 tokens, that brings it down to $25. Okay, so around $25. So, and if you also have another deal which takes 10% off your cart, okay, then you're talking about like $20 for this entire teaching session by Aisha. It's very lovely. This whole is very, very, very nice thing. So, but this is what watching for sales gives you, okay? Because you're going to come in and you're going to say, "Oh, that's $220." When you finally start saying, "I really want to learn textures. I really want to learn how to do textures." Already on a picture, it just needs to look good once printed. Well, printing requires a lot more pixels than like the internet. So, but I agree. I agree with you. As long as it doesn't assault your eye, as long as it, there's something, you know, that like just you know, I don't know, this it's like when people sell stuff in the Daz store and they don't put uh, sub D on it, and they render it and they sell the image, you know, the promo image of their scene without sub D on it, and you can see all of the crumpled up kind of stuff in the image. It assaults my eye, you know, and I just wonder, you know, why didn't they just put sub D on it, you know? And maybe they just want you to see what it looks like out of the box, and then you can always put sub D on it. But you know, maybe you could just like, maybe you might even need to go uh, into the geometry sculptor and smoothen out some of the mesh a little bit. So, but as long as it doesn't assault my eye, like this right here, let's just take this as an example, okay? This looks really nice, okay? This looks really nice, but this one right here, I can see the geometry in it, okay? It may have been on purpose, okay? But but this particular piece needs some sub D to it, okay? And that's what I mean by assaulting my eye, that my eye is trained to see all kinds of different things. Is the shine, is it too contrasty? You know, this is beautiful, this is beautiful. This right, silk is always hard to get right because of the shine factor. It picks up these little teeny lines in it, where this, you can't really see the lines in it because it's not as shiny, okay? But this, you can see it. And this one requires a lot of sub D. It needs to provide a proper, good-looking render. Yeah, you have to have, it has to, all of the things in it that are supposed to be right need to be right. Now I'm going to give him different hair. So we'll go here. Yeah, dude, we're going to give you some different hair. Let's try this hair. Some Viking hair. So he actually has some hair. Okay, that's not working either. So Z. This is the hair thing with Daz. And, you know, you really can't blame Daz that, like, you have to try 50 different hairs until one works. It's just the shape of their head, the way people are. It's just, you have to try all kinds of different things, and then all of a sudden something works. That doesn't work. Okay, let's go to here, 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 hair. And let's, okay, let's go here, and then we got all kinds of choices. Oops. Daz, that is not necessary. We don't need these parts, these body parts, okay? Showing up here. Most of us don't even use those things. All right. Give him some long curly hair, see what this looks like. Some girl hair. It's just different. I got some objects that look great in renders, but it's just pictures above a flat surface. There's no physical representation of the details. That's just useless for 3D printing. Yeah, a lot of things. Okay, this kind of looks good, but then it kind of doesn't. I am not really good at the at I don't know anything about how 3D printing works, okay? Other than I've seen it kind of done a little bit. Okay, now this works. We just got to give him the right color. Almost that blonde almost works too, because he looks like the kind of guy who might dye his hair blonde, even though it looks terrible half the time. Let's see. Let's find his hair. Warrior hair. Is that what that is? Warrior hair. Let's go to Explore Product. Materials. Okay. Oh, yeah. This thing again. Okay. We got to go use the right hair. I just wish they would name it brown and black or something. Mushroom. Okay, let's do mushroom. See, that didn't work. I might have to select this like that. Okay, mushroom. Okay, this is the color tip. Okay, so Dorado here. We got 9. Dolphin. Okay. Dorado 9. Color tip. Okay, we don't want the tips. Riverbed. Okay, hair. This is the whole hair. Dorado. Okay, falcon. Okay, that kind of works. Let's see, where's the mushroom one? Wenge. What color is wenge? All right, let's take this wenge color and make it a little bit more suitable. Top hair, short hair, fine hair. Okay, what kind of, this is, I think, okay, base color. Tip color. Okay, there we go. That kind of works. Let's go a little darker. And I think there might be some kind of hair dye or something on top. Color 2 is gray. We'll go a little darker than that. All right. Now it looks like his eyebrows, something's wrong with his eyebrow color. And so we just make them a little darker. Surfaces, eyebrows, top coat color. And what other thing? We got this glossy color. The darker you go with gloss, the less. Okay, we have primary. Like the secondary are like little teeny hairs. They're not very big. Glossy color will make that so it doesn't really do much to mess with the secondary color, even though. Okay, emission color. Like game models, take a house in a game, it's usually a cube with a picture of a house projected on it to save memory and say, that's a very nice technique right there. See, I try not to do that stuff because I like the realism of the shine and the way the sun hits the house in just the right way. I've had some massively beautiful scenes because my HDRI just caught the side of the house in just the right angle to make it look so real. So, but I guess you can build that in. So, okay, this is, okay, let's go 30. All right, now his beard looks kind of dark. So let's go with the Thomas beard and make this just a little bit lighter. Emission color. Not sure why that looks so dark. Translucency color. Okay, that kind of works. Save this. Yeah, well, that's what they do is they make sure that they blend the house and they blend the light so that the light is catching that image that they post on there so that it looks exactly right. And they blend the color and they blend the tint and the shade and all of that to make it so that you can't tell the difference. And that's all that matters is that, and then they can go ahead with their animation and not have to worry. And then, because if they put that whole house in that scene, everything's going to slow to a crawl. And so they have to make that house they have to do that because they've got too much other stuff going on in the scene. And so they have to do that. Why is this so dark? Emission color is black. Oh, the base color is black. Okay, there. Now that looks like it kind of fits in better. Save this. All right, let's do a render. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. That's what they do. They're very, very good at making illusions look like they're real. Scene here, and then use lights and then bring in a character and have my character very very detailed and all here also. And so I'm wondering about his eyelashes, and something just doesn't look right with him. I think it's because the camera depth is weird, and so it's got this kind of fisheye look to it. And okay, I'm wondering if I do a look at thing. Okay, let's try this look at me kind of thing. Let's select our camera. Oh, and the camera, we have to select the camera. Okay, oops. Let's see, Genesis 9. Hold Control. Now we go to favorites, and with a look at me too, and that would be look at the camera. 2. Okay. And what happens, okay, when we do something here? We allow him to bend his chest a little bit. Okay, now he's looking at us. Okay. Accept. Okay, let's see if that worked. I've been so obsessed with making the perfect skin, I've lost all my create prowess with making a full scene. I suppose that could happen. You know what? I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry too much, Brent. You're on a journey, okay? And your brain will tell you when you're ready to move on. Learning skin is so very, very, very important that and I would say it's there's a process that I use. It's called receive, retain, release. Okay, and you're we receive information, we retain it for a while, okay, and we incubate and we think about it, and then we release our art, okay? We release some kind of product out of all of that. And so when you're in one of those phases, okay? So you're in one of those where you're receiving information, okay? Where you're learning all kinds of stuff about, and you're in that receiving place, and then you retain it for a while, and you get really that's when you incubate and you come up with all kinds of ideas, and at some point you'll release. So you're in one of those phases, and that's not a bad, it's not a bad thing. It's part of the creative process of learning stuff. And I would say I haven't gone in. Maybe you're more advanced than I am, because I have never really gotten to that point where what I use, I try to cheat as much as I can. Like this skin detailer, I just click a button and it gives his skin all kinds of like little blemishes and little things. It just kind of, so that his skin doesn't look like it's one color, okay? From a distance, even though they've put all kinds of detail into it, there's no real like kind of blemishy kind, and like a little freckles and little things that give the skin. And so I use this skin detailer product, okay? And it's really good, okay? Skin detailer. Have you worked with skin detailer? You can send me links. You can send me links to your page. Okay, that's my email address. Send me links, and I'll check them out. This right here, this skin detailer, this has, you would not believe this product. Right now, this product's on sale for $12. Buy it, okay? Because if you're into skin, Brent, and let me know if you've heard of this. Okay, all right, so I just want to look at his eyelashes here. Now the lashes, okay, you have to take and fix these little parts. I think a lot of people where are the lashes? Okay, eyelashes. A lot of people in the Daz store don't. We'll go with straight. Where are the straight eyelashes? Eyebrow card. Eyelashes, straight style. Okay. There we go. Save this. And now we do a render. Well, this is definitely a beard, like a Daz beard. What I usually do with a beard like this is I set the transparency down a little bit so it's not as quite as opaque. And the same with the eyebrows. I usually will lower the transparency. With the new hair models, you have so many different editing options now. But this is very nice. I don't know how many times I've, like had a figure, and it's like I would just like to have a beauty mark like right there, you know. And so you go into Photoshop and you put a little dot there, and you bring it back in, and it hardly shows it all. And then you have to put it on the translucency map in the same place, and then you have to put it on the bump map, and yeah, just to get a mole, you know, a beauty mark. So it's really difficult putting this stuff, you know, and having all the different layers of skin to make it come out right. So I can appreciate this kind of work. So, oh, here we go. So I tend to think that you're on a journey. That's this is very nice as well here. That you're on a skin journey, and I would recommend to keep at it. Apart from showing you render, I'm religious about that. Set the refractance instead of the refractance instead of the transparency. Yeah. See, I haven't. Oh, yeah. Well, there's the IOR that can create different shine. It all depends on the index of refraction. Yes, that can change the shine. But I use also the transparency because it makes it seem like a little bit less there. And I believe the way it does is sometimes the hair actually, it can shorten the hair because the transparency is gradual along the strand. I've cut some really nice results with cutout opacity. Oh, this is very nice. Now I wonder how my render is doing now. Looks like this is pretty much done. I think I should have brought the light back a little bit more. Can't close this. Let's go back in here. I think I'm going to move my light more perspective. So it doesn't cut that other eye at all. Okay, there we go. There it is. Save this. Maybe this could be a little brighter, the point light, now that it's only cutting one side of his face, catching. We'll go with 2. Maybe we'll go with 2.5. And all right, save this and let's render this. It really depends on how big you render the image before you start working on it, before you start actually doing your Photoshop work. So if you start with a render that's much higher, then you can zoom in. Let's take and let's switch this all to now my all scene. Okay, this is part of the skin that Brent has sent here. And as you can see, there's some very nice work here. So, but you know, the image from about here, this looks pretty realistic here. Okay, well, we got a little less than that. So, but yeah, this is very nice work here. So you got this is, I would say, your that you have, that you're perfecting this technique of making skin more real. I what I do is I bring them just far enough away from the camera, and then I use light to obscure parts of them, like what I've done here with this image. I kind of use the image, like the light, to try and obscure enough of it so that it works. And that's, you know, because your image was like right up close, and as you can see, there's a little bit of stuff here with his face, a little bit of kind of, he's got like little bits of texture you can kind of see in his face. We can already tell if it's you know, it took me a long time to learn, because, you know, usually I say if it looks terrible in the promo, it's probably going to look terrible on my figure, okay? And that was a big lesson to learn, because what I used to say was, oh, they just don't know how to display it properly, and I'll be able to make it look much better by dimming the lights and using depth of field and using all kind of, and you know, and I put it on my figure and it looks worse than it does in the promo image. So I've kind of learned that if it doesn't look right in the promo image, it's probably not going to look right on my figure. So every once in a while, though, you put it on a certain figure and they got the right shape of the head and they're in the right exact light, and all of a sudden it's just the most perfect hair you could ever use. So it's weird how that works, okay? So I think we lost Gold Miner. So it was nice having you here, Gold Miner. So I think this is going to do it for me. I think I'm going to cut out now. Thank you for sharing your awesome artwork, Brent. We've kind of learned how to buy hair. Like this hair, I'd buy it again. I like with it, especially if I were to put this on like a male fairy, you know, with wings and the whole 9 yards, and make the hair pink. This would be the perfect hair. It's just like Peter Pan kind of hair. It's like, it works. This is beautiful hair. You know, I'd buy it again. Even though it's kind of messy and everything, it's good hair. And so I can tell when I'm going to be able to use hair, and when I'm just never, ever, ever going to be able to use that hair. And it's like, I have probably, I would say 60% of the hair I own is like, I'm never going to use it hair. Okay. I wasn't smart enough to know, you know, not to buy it. But the thing is that Daz sold them to me at a very, very, very low price. I got them as a steal. So, and every once in a while, some of them might work. So, renders camera settings to get close to the promo images. Lucky we got the skills. Yeah. Daz usually makes these PAs put everything in bright lights, and they don't usually, at least my experience is that they've not been heavy on depth of field and those kind blurring out stuff. It's not, but the thing is like, yeah, even from way back, the depth of field, you know, you can't tell if they blur the foreground of the ground, you can't tell how much detail is actually in the up close ground. And that's been done. I've seen that done even way back. So it's just what you have to do is you have to put debris on the ground, and you have to put, sometimes you have to put another plane and shape it and put it in the foreground. Sometimes you have to put grass in around it to kind of hide the pixelation. So, but I think he came out okay this time. I think he looks pretty good. Yeah. It's nice, especially this leather. The leather was done just right. Daz did a beautiful job with this leather jacket. This is a Daz. I believe this was made by Daz Originals. Daz Originals usually don't have to. They stand right on their own, right in bright light. They usually look pretty good. So that's it. That's usually the thing. Sounds awesome, Brent. I have your email saved in my important folder, okay? So I won't lose you again. So I'll check out more of your page, some of your photography and all the other things. So, all right, people, we had a good run today. We learned about that it's going to take us $30,000 to get a 5090 PC together. And I'm just hoping that if I get that 5090 PC, that I can still plug in my 1600 watt power supply and my 2000 watt power supply at the same time on the same circuit. So if I buy a new house, which I'm planning on buying a new house, which will be in the next year, I'm hoping. That's one thing that's going to have to be done, is I'm going to have a couple of very powerful sockets, a few of them. I'm going to have to check the wiring and make sure it's new enough wiring where it's got some really good wiring, and that I can run my 390s and plug in, run a 2000 watt power supply and a 1600 watt power supply. So yeah, that's what it's about. So all right, thank you people for watching. Take care, much love. It's RexRed saying so long for now. We'll play our splash screen. I'll be back in a moment. Angus, you as well, my friend. Angus is our channel's #1 supporter. This channel would not be possible without Angus's help. He has also been in this channel since it began, and he's been here at just about every single tutorial from beginning to end. Sometimes he does stuff, tinkers around while it's going on. So he's not glued to it, but he's pretty much here. He knows it's over. You see? He's right here. It's right here at the end. Angus is awesome. Angus, you take care, Angus. You have a good night. Thank you, people, for watching. This is Rex Red saying so long. Please like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. For all notifications, make sure you got all notifications selected. This is still rendering right here. We still got this guy rendering. So I don't know how much longer, but it'd be really nice for this to reticulate a little bit more in here. Not sure, and in here it looks a little grainy. So, but all is well. Thank you again, people. Take care, and I will see you again very soon in the next EZ3DTV tutorial. Rex Red again, saying so long. Bye-bye.